So Eureka was worried about my back and crack. They didn't think my posture was good. They said you don't have enough chairs in your house. They kind of gave me pick of the litter, said just browse our inventory. You don't have to come to the warehouse physically. You can just look at the website. And it was really difficult. You got all these wet noses pressed up against the glass here saying, pick me, pick me. But then I thought to myself, you've been reviewing a lot of flagship chairs in the $500 to $650 range. When you used to preach the golden rule for buying a gaming chair is that the sweet spot is in that $300 range because you're getting premium materials, yet you're not really paying for a name. Not that those are bad chairs, just the product's clearly inflated because of the name. But when I saw the Hector Chair, I kind of caught a glimpse out of my peripherals on my curved monitor before I made full eye contact with it. I knew I had to review that specific model for two reasons. One, this chair fits right in that segment of chairs that I think provide a great value, price to performance, or bang for buck. And secondly, I had never seen a back pillow design quite like that, with a trio or 3 pillows sewn in, not removable, not modular, permanently affixed to the chair, and then with the pillow that technically makes 4 little puffy bits on your back. That's the formula to be extremely comfortable or to be an ergonomic disaster if it doesn't rest in the small of your back and your neck correctly. So since the majority of my audience is basically like my physical clones, they're all a bunch of 5'11" North American males, built the same, we're all about within 4 pounds of each other, I thought that me sitting in this chair in native 4K would give you an idea if your greasy man rolls or lady gamer bits could properly get greased and placed into this chair. So we're going to review this chair on a multitude of categories, including back and crack support, warranty, armrests, and find out if it earns a gold star or if it stays after class banging erasers with me. A quick disclaimer for my audience, the Stallions and Stallionettes, this chair was sent for review, but this is going to be an honest, comprehensive review. I haven't been paid or told to say anything about it, so if there's any cons, shortcomings, or areas of improvement, you're going to hear about it, so these companies can make better products over time. Eureka! That is a fun name to say, and they have ergonomic in the name, so I'm assuming that they're going to be very comfortable chairs. As you can see, you can't see because I'm not sharing my screen, but now you can, and as you can see, they offer a little bit of everything, so if you don't want that aggressive tubular racing design so you feel like you're strapped into the bucket seat of a Porsche 911 Carrera, and you want something a little bit less aggressively bolstered because you're not built like a horse jockey, then you can get a model that actually fits you. They have big and tall models, and they definitely have chairs in different price points, and desks apparently as well. That one's sick as hell. I'm getting sidetracked. Reel it back in, Kevin. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, the Hector. Original retail is $370, but it's been slashed down to $260. God knows why. Maybe it's because we're approaching the holidays, or maybe it's just a strategic marketing push. I don't really care because I think it's a great value at this price. Are there any additional colors? No, you have this black and gray two-tone, which I think is pretty color neutral and will go with damn near anybody's setup or theme. Some of the notable features of this chair, you have that wavy lumbar support, which is exactly what I mentioned during the intro. You have those 3 pillows, which just unique to me. We'll say that. It could either be freakishly comfortable or detrimental to the spine, and that's what I'm here to figure out today. I guess I don't need these on. These aren't like prescription or anything. It's just to block the harmful blue light that scorches the corneas. There's a coupon code down there in the description below. I can't believe they mentioned the 2D armrest as a selling factor. We'll talk about the armrest later, but spoiler alert, they're 1 out of 5. They're pretty atrocious. Premium quality. You have to caveat that for in the price point, because obviously if you're comparing this to $600 chairs that are using micro suede Alcantara material and also real leather, not artificially manufactured synthetics, it is a different feel, but that synthetic stuff really does last longer usually, or at least as long as the genuine leather, as seen from this 200,000 cycles of backrest durability tests. What they do is they take a rather large individual and just slam them into the chair repeatedly until the chair crumples to dust underneath him, at which point he gets a paycheck and is able to go home to his family. That's probably not what they do. They probably take like one of those piston machines and just slam it into the chair to see when the cushions break down. And if anything goes wrong, you do have a 3-year limited warranty, which for a chair in this price segment is actually quite good, because I have seen a lot of its competitors sport a 1 or 2-year warranty, which, you know, numerically that is smaller than 3. Sitting high and mighty in the Hector chair. I have the gas piston all the way elevated right now. Let me hit the switches in the 6.4 Impala. As for the size and dimension, I saved this little picture to my desktop and I will be overlaying it so you can get the exact dimensions of this chair. This is freakishly important, and unfortunately a lot of consumers do not look at the measurements or dimensions of an office chair before selecting it. They just look at the color or the design, or wow, that looks comfortable because it's got 3 pillows. You know, so I thought with the Hector here, give a looky-loo at the measurements. The weight capacity is 300 pounds, so even though this isn't a big and tall chair, that's a pretty hefty weight limit. There is no height recommendation, but I'm 5'11", 5'11 and a half, stuff when I'm not hunching, and you're going to see a ton of footage or B-roll of me sitting in the chair, so you can kind of get an idea where all the pillows lie and all that. Packaging and included accessories. If I'm any type of a good YouTuber, I did record the process of me unboxing this bad boy. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 out of 5. I did like the fact that the box was actually really small, compact in comparison to all the chairs I've had delivered recently. Nothing was damaged. Everything was packaged okay, but it definitely wasn't a premium experience with all the components held in laser cut foam, and you immediately realize when you open the box, ooh, there's actually a lot of loose parts and stuff that are going to need to be assembled, because generally higher end chairs come more pre-assembled, less parts that actually need put on yourself, and the few parts that you do need to install are usually very high quality and have good hardware and tools included. The Hector here, not so much. The little plastic side plates that cover the hardware on the sides felt really cheap and chintzy, but nothing came damaged. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. As for assembly, falling right in line with that, took me about 45 minutes, and I was, for lack of a better word, dicking off watching Netflix and whatnot, but nothing from the assembly process was frustrating. However, it wasn't extra smooth either, where things were pre-assembled, great tools, and an instruction manual that stood out to me or anything like that. Actually, the instruction manual is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5. I don't like that with this new boom arm, this is like the highest I can get it. With my blue compass, I could literally have it right here at my suck hole. But I'll just take a knee here like I'm in varsity football. Build quality is actually pretty good. You've got this perforated leather here, which does breathe incredibly good. My back and crack never got sweaty, even in long sessions of whatever the hell I was doing at my computer. You don't need to know that. Probably editing videos for you. Stitching is actually really good. You do have this gray piping on the top, which actually looks pretty good. Stitching on the graphics or logo is actually quite good. The leather has a nice scent to it, but I will say the good build quality ends at the leather. When you get to these 2D armrests here, it's not a pretty story. And then also you've got these really cheap, chintzy plastic covers strapped onto the sides to cover the hardware. It's going to be a 3 out of 5. Wheels and base, I eventually will probably break this into 2 separate sections, but in the meantime, wheels and base is going to be a 3 out of 5 for me. I do like the sturdy metal that the base is made out of. However, it's kind of narrow. I would like if it was a few inches wider to give you a little bit more stability when you're rolling around so you don't feel like you're going to tip over. And the wheels are extremely ugly cosmetically. They're the ugliest wheels I've ever seen. However, they do roll really good. They're the design we've seen before where the middle is stationary, but then the outside 2 wheels rotate. It actually glides pretty smooth. I have low pile carpet here and I'm able to get around without putting too much leg strength into it. 4 out of 5. Butt padding is actually very good. In fact, I would say one of the strong suits of the chair. It almost feels a little bit too soft because you sink in immediately. However, it doesn't continue to sink in until you bottom out or anything. It does have a nice resistance, which makes me think that maybe they have a second layer of denser foam at the bottom. Feels great. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I do think that the butt padding, especially in the price point, but just period, even stacked up against some of the expensive chairs I've reviewed recently, great butt padding. That's the crack. Slide on up. How about the back? Ooh, this is where, man, this is your homework assignment. Please, for your wallet's sake or purse, if you're a lady, please look at the dimensions that were shown on screen earlier so you can measure yourself with a soft measuring tape. There's 3 permanently affixed pillows that cannot be removed. They're sewn into the chair. That is your lumbar support. So if those don't fall in line with the small of your back, then it's going to be permanently uncomfortable. The chair is going to be unusable for you. I'm not going to use the word unusable. If I was given this chair as a gift or something and I didn't have other chairs laying around, this was what I had to sit in at my computer. I wouldn't sell it, pawn it, or throw it in the firing barrel. It's not terrible. Having said that the positioning of the pillows isn't perfect for my back, they are actually very soft, supple, and squishy. They do feel good. So if they do align perfectly with your back, then this is going to feel great for you. And I would rate it as a 4 out of 5. Since it's not great for me, it's going to be a 2 out of 5. So keep in mind, if you're 5'11 and a half, then this chair's not going to really provide much lumbar support for you because it starts too low. The bottom pillow is just far too low. And then the middle pillow is too high. They don't fall where I'd like them. This is why gaming chairs traditionally have one adjustable lumbar pillow for the small of your back, and then a smaller pillow up top you can either put at the crown of your skull or down lower in the divot of your neck. And I had never seen this pillow design, and I kind of understand why. Every body is different, and most consumers that buy a chair unfortunately don't look at the specific dimensions or measurements like they should, meaning I do foresee a lot of unhappy customers and returns with this particular model. I could see that being the case, unfortunately. The armrests are going to be a 1 out of 5 for me, which isn't surprising because they are always the weakness, the Achilles heel, even of high-end flagship chairs, but definitely a budget or entry-level chairs, and these are no different. They're 2D, which they actually flex or advertise as a selling feature on their website. It's not. 2D means that they can be adjusted up and down. You know, that's a very standard feature, but they do not adjust up and down very much at all, and even at their highest position, they're too far down and out to where I cannot comfortably rest my elbows. Also, I I absolutely hate the armrests that you can swivel inward and outward, but not while you're holding down a button. So they just free spin all the time. I hate those armrests. They just feel so cheap. Materials continue that sentiment, as it is a hard rubber material making contact with your bony little elbows. Yeah, these are horrible. 1 out of 5. As for included pillows, there is only one, as we covered that the back support is all integrated. You do have this one little head pillow here, which is also very hampered or limited by those 3 sewn-in pillows because it cannot really be moved anywhere. It only has a couple of inches to sit on the top of the chair. You feel like it's going to pop off, but I haven't had that happen in any use case scenarios, but it definitely feels like the pillow could just easily be lifted off or pop off because that bungee strap doesn't have enough room to grab onto. But because the pillow right below it is sewn in, it doesn't have anywhere to adjust, and that's unfortunate because it actually is a nice, soft, supple material, very squishy, feels good on the crown of my skull. I'd like to feel what it felt like on my neck, but you can't because it's locked in place. 1 out of 5. As for adjustment, it is not great. You have 4 lockable positions and a 118-degree recline range, so you cannot fully lay this chair out like other models, which I wouldn't want to in this chair because it doesn't have the stability because that base is too narrow. So if you were able to lay all the way back, at least with my not super lightweight torso, I would probably tip over. I'm not super heavy. I'm 180 pounds, like full transparency. You do have a class 4 gas lift. That's basically just the hydraulic piston that lifts you up and down, and it only has about 3 inches of adjustment. Not great. Part of adjustment is going to be the armrest, and again, there are only 2D, not 3 or 4D. And since back support is fully integrated and you don't have a lumbar pillow to slide up and down or fully remove, the Hector model nets itself a 1 out of 5 for adjustment. Moving on to the most important category, which kind of rolls in line with the verdict, and that is going to be the value, the price to performance, the bang for buck. And with this chair, it is very indicative of looking at that measurement chart and seeing if this is going to work for your back, because it has 3 permanently affixed pillows. If they do line up perfectly, which really you can't tell until you get the chair underneath you, then this is going to be a freakishly comfortable chair for you. I do feel like the Hector chair looks good and feels good in the back and crack range, but has a lot of limitations and adjustment because of this pillow design. And I think for the majority of gamers and anyone that needs to sit in an office chair, they'd most likely be better off looking at traditional gaming chairs that have 2 adjustable pillows. This chair is linked in the description below alongside an exclusive discount code for my audience, and I will see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding. Starting June, I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily. All the time. 60% of the time. Sometimes. Most of the time. Peace.